Alright, welcome back. This is Erie Sky Watching. This is just going to be a quick video today, but I felt it very important to do so because they are polling the same thing that they did in years prior, saying that we are having a heat wave here in Erie, PA, and other parts of the country. But I want to stress the fact that this is nothing more than a normal average summer with average warm temperatures, but they are making you think it's abnormal because back in May, we had 50 degrees and covered skies. It was cold. The nights, actually, some days it was 45 degrees, and at night we had frost advisories. That's how cold it was. And that is not normal for May. But now we're in June, and last year, I believe they threatened this. I know the year before they did. 90 degrees or even 85 degrees is not a heat wave for Erie, PA. That's normal weather we get. We may not always get into the 90s, but it's not a heat wave for that to happen. I want to make clear because there's been times, many times, where it's gotten to the 90s. I remember way back, I remember it getting in the 90s way back, and like I'm saying way back, like years and years ago. And they didn't say that as a heat wave. But now when we get into the 90s, 90-degree weather, for the past like 4, maybe 5 years, now they threaten it as a heat wave. So there's the comparison in time. Back like probably 10 years ago, it wasn't considered a heat wave to get 90 degrees. But now it is. So today is Saturday the 21st. I can't even remember if I said the date yet, but today is Saturday, June 21st, and the skies are covered. And let's see. Yesterday was Friday. It rained some. Thursday, it rains. Wednesday, it rained. Tuesday, it rained. So we had 4 days in a row of rain. Now during the weekday, there was the pattern of it's nice during the morning and the early afternoon. Then when it gets later, like around 2 o'clock, when some people start getting out of work, some people, that's a time frame, because some people get out of work earlier, like around 2. Some people get out later, like around 5. But right around 2 is when it starts to get really bad weather. The sky will get covered and it'll start raining. And it was like constant rain. And the wind, too. Like, it's like crazy wind most of the times. We don't just have, like, calm. It's always crazy. So today they're threatening rain, when originally, I should have took a screenshot of it. It was supposed to be nice today and 90 degrees. So, see, breezy. It's always breezy. Tomorrow is when the supposed heat advisory starts. 12 p.m., so noon tomorrow until 8 p.m. Tuesday. Sunny much of the time, very humid and warm. Stay hydrated when outside in the heat. The thing is, we haven't been warm. So then when it does finally warm up, people look at it as it's a crazy thing that's never happened. And like I said, 10 years ago, this wouldn't be classified as a heat wave. It'd just be classified as normal weather because we have days where we get into 90 degrees. It's not like every single day here in Erie, PA, we get into the 90s, but we had it here and there. Because I still remember one day way back when it got warm, it wasn't this one day in specific. Like I said, there were several occasions that we got into the 90-degree weather. But there's one in particular that I remember is like, I think it got like 91 degrees or something. And it was pretty hot, but I don't even think it was like really overwhelming. And there was no heat wave for that. It was just summer. So yeah, they'll be doing this Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then, yeah, so 90 degrees, 87, and 89. I'm surprised they didn't classify this, or today, as a heat wave, even though, since they're threatening rain, I don't think it's going to get really that warm. How long have I been recording for? Okay, 5 minutes. And then while we're at it, let's look at the weekly weather pattern. So, obviously, Monday and Tuesday are going to be hot. Wednesday, hot. Thursday, so, all right, Thursday, you have variable cloudiness, so it goes from perfectly sunny. Look at that pattern. We'll see if tomorrow really is like that, but perfectly sunny, mostly sunny, partly sunny, variable cloudiness with a thunderstorm. Then, it's Friday, variable cloudiness with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Humid. Clouds and breaks of sun. Humid with a couple of thunderstorms. Cloudy and humid with thunderstorms caused by occasional rain. And then, I don't know, we'll see if Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are all rain in a row. I wouldn't be surprised because, like I said, we just had it where during the weekday was nice, but only in the morning when everybody's at work in the early afternoon. Once it's the time where people get out of work, it goes right downhill. Because why? Because weather modification. So that is what they are planning for here in Erie, PA, and it's nothing new. They do the same thing every year, and people forget about it. Just like every year now, they keep saying there's an egg shortage. Right around Easter time, which, by the way, is a pagan holiday. Right around Easter time, they start saying there's a egg shortage and bird flu, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as Easter's over, bird flu cures itself, and there's an overabundance of eggs. They're just price gouging because they know people are so hooked up on these holidays. And the worst part is how they slap God on it. It's like, and these aren't even holidays for God. They aren't. Any of them. Christmas, aka Saturnalia, nope. Easter, nope. Those are some that they label as a Christian holiday. And then there's other ones like Valentine's Day, that are completely off the wall. And you got St. Patty's Day Leprechaun. And you got Halloween, which couldn't be any more blatantly pagan. And you got Thanksgiving, which is representing gluttony. And I've heard it before where each of these kind of represent a different type of sin, sort of, which does kind of make sense. You got gluttony for Thanksgiving. You got for Christmas, greed, because you're receiving other gifts. You want gifts. Then we got I can't think of the name of it. Valentine's Day is lust, and so on and so forth. I can't remember what they all were, but those are a few examples, and it does make a lot of sense. It really does. So there's definitely some merit to that. Anyway, I said this is going to be a short video, and it's already longer than I wanted to be talking to. But I just wanted to make very clear, this is no heat wave here in Erie, PA. So don't be surprised. They're still going to pull this every year so they can do their climate crisis baloney. When the only climate change is them modifying the sky via planes and whatever other technology they have. Thanks for watching, and God bless your day. Bye.